Hi everyone, we're 2022 Yenching scholars and we're really lucky to be at the Jianchuan Museum Cluster today. I'm Emma and I'm from the United States.
I'm Amanda and I'm also from the United States.
And my name's Zhijie, I'm from China. Well, I was hoping that we could share with everybody how many museums we visited this morning and which one is our favorite. What about we start from you, Emma?
That would be great. Thank you, Zhijie. So I was able to visit 4 museums. The Earthquake Memorial Museum was definitely my favorite. I remember when the earthquake happened in 2008. It was a massive moment in our lives and it was commemorated even in my primary school in Shanghai. So to actually see memorials of the earthquake close to the site where it actually happened and to see artifacts that were actually involved in the disaster was a very touching experience for me.
Thank you, Emma. I was also very moved by the Earthquake Museum. My dad is a firefighter, and when he was working as a firefighter in New York City, I think he experienced a lot of the same feelings of being moved by the disasters that people encountered. And so it was very moving to see the work that a lot of these first responders did to support people who were affected by the disaster in the earthquake.
Well, what a coincidence, because my favorite is definitely the Wenchuan Earthquake Memorial Museum as well. Because as a Sichuan local, I've personally been through that earthquake, that unprecedented catastrophe back when I was 8 years old. And I especially like how this museum helps to provide another narrative about the earthquake itself and the multifaceted reconstruction processes afterwards. I like how it cherishes and tries to acknowledge the folk memories of people's suffering and resilience. So that's what moves me the most. And moving on to the second question, probably, what do you think? What roles do museums play in our everyday life? What about we start from you again, Emma?
Thank you again, Zhijie. I think probably the most important role that we experience today is how central museums are to conserving and preserving memories that, although we may have heard from our parents and grandparents, it still feels different to see those objects in real life. And also to know that these stories aren't just things that happen to our own families, but events that affected a larger segment of the population.
I also really appreciate the way that museums can showcase aspects to life that we might not remember or encounter in our everyday lives, but really highlight some of the experiences that we ought to remember and ought to more carefully consider.
Well, as for me, I think essentially speaking, museums serve as a social device that help us to reorganize and preserve our collective memories. So I think it's very important to bear in mind the ideological positionings of museums as social institutions and try to attach enough importance to the seemingly trivial but equally important folk memories behind historical events.
We'd like to thank the organizers of today's event, and we look forward to the continuing development of Jianchuan Museum Cluster. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.